Hello, I'm Phillip Taylor. I'm from Richmond Green Chambers, and I'm going to talk about a particular report, which is actually in book form. Guidelines on Memory in the Law, recommendations from the Scientific Study of Human Memory. It's published by the British Psychological Society Research Board, and it's a report that was produced in June of 2008. Now, I've reviewed this book in a number of publications, and it's also appeared in the Barrister magazine. I think the important thing to remember about this book is that it's a book that's applicable to a large number of people. I say book, but it's actually a report as such. Many legal professionals know that a witness's memory is vital to law and to justice. And of course it's much more fallible than some of us would like to admit. And it's often too late, of course, when we have some form of contentious litigation to deal with. I'm a general common law practitioner dealing with criminal law and road traffic matters in the civil justice process. Memory is very important, of course, to try and ascertain what's actually happened in any given set of facts. What the report has done is its accumulation of an international working party set up by the British Psychological Society Research Board under Professor Conway and Emily Holmes, and obviously distinguished other people. The key points in the report are that the content of memory arises from an individual's comprehension of an experience, both conscious and non-conscious, and such content can be further modified and changed by subsequent recall. You can certainly see what could happen with that. The second point is any account of a memory will feature forgotten details and gaps. And thirdly, people can remember events that they have not in reality experienced, so people will possibly think things that have happened when they haven't happened. So obviously it's very important legally to make sure we get things right. There are 7 sections to the report. It's a very detailed report, but of great interest to learners and practitioners, certainly in law, are section 2 on legal considerations and section 7 on ID parades, which is a very important one for criminal lawyers. There are 12 pages of references which are of great help, I think, to the academic community, and they cover issues of relevance to practitioners as well, on both sides of the Atlantic. And obviously there are useful examples taken from the United States of America and crucial aspects of PACE here in England and Wales. There are 10 key points which are listed and well worth looking at. I'm not going to go into detail with them now, but there are some possible conclusions that one can withdraw from this detailed report, because the first question is, what use is this study to us? It's clearly highly authoritative and will give trainees, people who are interested, some very useful tips for their examinations. For practitioners, it's going to provide some guidance when trying to fathom some of the more complex pieces of one's memory when it comes to evidence, which we often come across during the preparation of a case, say for trial. I just wonder, of course, when I was going through this report, how many judges would judge it irrelevant. I mean, you have to obviously get a balance and some form of proportionality, as it's currently called, or reasonableness of approach, I prefer to call it, into it. What I would say here is that I agree with much of the points that are made in the report, but I would put it this way: if you have an informed evaluation of memory where the facts are in issue, then it will lead to some form of reliable judgment, which is what the end result should be in every case, and that's how we model the common law. I certainly commend this report to you because I think the value of it can be seen in section 3, which is entitled Psychological Considerations. Obviously with the websites that are given, There are very useful pieces of guideline material here on achieving what we would know as best evidence. I think everybody will find the report of use, and particularly in those cases that we as lawyers describe as hard cases, where a really difficult decision has to be arrived at. Anyway, I thank Professor Conway and his team very much for this book. There are some useful website addresses, as I've said, and I'll put this where I can, the actual addresses, on the video link. Thank you very much. Do have a good look at the report. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.